Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Pele, Josh Pele, Mario Heron, getting ready for the big game on Sunday night. National TV audience, the Chicago Bears come to town to take on the Chargers. Kind of two teams shockingly going in different directions all of a sudden. The Bears, who are the biggest joke of the NFL, taking on a Charger team a lot of people had high hopes for, and maybe it's not too late, but the Chargers disappointing the last couple of weeks, whereas the Bears all of a sudden best win they had over the last 2 years, knocking off the Raiders at home and looking impressive without Justin Fields. Here we go. We have a big Sunday night matchup. You have two major media markets, and at the same time, can the Chargers get back on track Sunday against the Bears? Josh.
I think the Chargers absolutely can get on track against the Bears, and I expect it. And with the Chargers, you should never expect anything because I pick the Chargers to win almost every week on this freaking show, and I get punched in the nuts almost every week on this show. So I want to start the show actually by addressing some of the questions on YouTube. There's a lot of good questions on YouTube. The one person that told me to welcome to hell, I don't know what that means, but thank you for that too.
That's where I live.
That's home. Yeah.
People tell me all the time.
It's very nice. Okay, so we'll start off with Shabado55. Probably butchered your name. Question. I really like this question. Why is Austin Eckler no longer involved in the passing game? I realize he's been hurt, but he's been okayed in the last few weeks, and he's still been non-existent. Hey, buddy, it's a great question because I don't have the answer. The reason Austin Eckler is not using the passing game is a mystery to me and the rest of Charger fans. The one thing we had last season was an option out of the backfield, and I understand that we dumped it off to him 1,000 times. He had 1,000,000 catches last year. And usually when you dump it off to somebody, that means, we have no other better option. But you don't even use him anymore. And I think one of the best things about Austin Eckler is that he can catch the ball out of the backfield as good as anybody. He's the closest thing to Christian McCaffrey when you're talking about a running back that can be involved in the passing game. I have no idea why they don't use him anymore. I expect him to be used at least 5 times a game because that just screws up the entire defense. And then when you have the Bears this week, I think it's a great opportunity to use him. He hasn't been used in the passing game all season. Bring it out this week against the Bears. Mario, would you expect Austin Eckler to be involved this week, or would you expect more of the same or where he's not involved at all?
Honestly, more of the same. But I could see him getting more involved because Joshua Palmer did not practice yesterday. So if that trend continues, maybe he does. But to go back to the question too, I'm not really that surprised because all summer, all offseason, all we heard, right, was pushing the ball downfield, pushing the ball downfield. We're going to see how strong Herbert's arm is all season. Like, that was Kellen Moore's MO, right? Like, that's exactly what he wanted to implement in this offense. So I'm not all that surprised that Eckler's catches and Eckler's influence in the passing game has kind of gone down because there's such a big influence of, hey, we want to be able to chuck the ball downfield. We want to be able to throw it. We want to have explosive plays. Has that happened? Not necessarily, but it was a goal in their mind and something they wanted to achieve. So it makes sense to me that that's kind of gone down. I would like to see Eckler more involved this week, especially. I mean, like we've talked about ad nauseum, but knowing if Johnston's ready or not, if they're going to create plays for him, creating something for Eckler in the passing game, I think is a pretty good move. And I don't know about you, Dave. I do kind of miss, I can't believe I'm saying this after last year. It happened every freaking play, but I do miss some Eckler dump downs that go for like 15 randomly.
You know who misses him? It's Eckler. Eckler, here he is. When you talk about the big contract and everything you offer and how important you are to a franchise and how you're unique, and now his stats aren't going to look that good, right? When he goes out and he's looking for that next contract to get paid, it's not going to look close. It's people, NFL people might look at it in the system and go, Kellen Moore just didn't use him. But other people are going to look at it and go, this guy's just like we say about every aging running back, he has declining stats. And so Eckler's big payday that he's been hoping for might not ever happen. I'll be honest with you. I don't care about his payday. That I always hate when athletes talk about money. I thought he talked about money way too much this year. And now that the team has a losing record, it even irritates me more. So I went back and I looked at Tony Pollard's stats last year when Kellen Moore was the OC. Did you do the same thing, Josh? You start laughing?
I did the same thing.
Because I wanted to know, what is it with Kellen Moore's offense? Like, does he not dump the ball off to these running backs, right? I mean, let's be honest. Would you rather have the ball in a running back's hand or a wide receiver's hand? You'd rather have the ball in a running back's hand the reason is this is what these guys are good at. They're good at running with the ball in their hands. Now, I understand you're starting from further back and you can't win games by just doing dump downs. But as Josh just said, as a former quarterback, you're going back, you're making your progressions. 1, 2, 3, dump down. Right? Am I correct, Josh? That it's simple as that. We all know watching football, I'm going to look at my reads, My wide receivers aren't open. My tight end's not open. I'm going to dump down because no one's covering him, and hopefully I'm going to gain 8 yards. Well, they
Exactly.
don't dump down to Eckler anymore. So Tony Pollard had 39 receptions last year for the Dallas Cowboys with Kellen Moore. Austin Eckler obviously had much better stats when Lombardi was his OC. It's hurting him. It's hurting the team because Eckler is a tremendous talent. We all know that when you draft your fantasy football league, almost every league you're in, he was a top 10 pick. Most leagues I was in, he was a top 3 pick. McCaffrey, and then he was the next guy that people were taking. But it's frustrating because it's not working right now. And I think we expected so much more from Kellen Moore that it feels like it's more of a Kellen Moore offensive problem than it is Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler problem, right? Eckler's like, dude, I will catch the ball if you throw it to me, I promise. And Justin Herbert is people now are starting to turn on the golden boy. Hey, why aren't you getting into Quentin Johnston? Why aren't you getting into Eckler? What the hell are you doing out there? Why can't you win a game in the fourth quarter? Why do you suck in the last minute 30 of every game? What is your problem? People right now are starting to point the finger at Justin Herbert. Not a good sign for this organization right now.
See, that's something I really want to talk about too. Justin Herbert and Quentin Johnston's relationship has been talked about by people outside of the Chargers because they're taking a look back at the rookie draft class because we're farther enough into the season now where you can look back at the draft class and say, maybe a team made a mistake here, maybe they didn't. And I'm not saying Quentin Johnston is a mistake by any means, but if you do look at his numbers, they just aren't comparable to the other rookie wide receivers that were taken in the first round. And the argument was a few weeks ago was JSN's not involved with the Seahawks. There's 2 guys, Quentin Johnston's not the only one. Well, JSN has gone off. Okay. So now Quentin Johnston is the only one that has been involved. I am so curious on how he's deployed this week. You always hear that, coaches aren't looking at Twitter and they don't know what's going on. Dude, trust me, they know what's going on. They know what the feel is between the fans and what they're saying, even if they don't want to admit it. Quentin Johnston, to me, is going to get more targets this game than he has the entire season. I think it's just gone to a boiling point between him. Wouldn't be surprised if Tom Telesco has put pressure on him, like, hey, we need to get this guy involved in the game. And he needs to get this guy involved in the game. We said it. If we don't have a third pass catcher, then there's no chance we can win these games. You can't just rely on Keenan Allen and Josh Palmer. Mario just said Josh Palmer's not 100%. We don't have somebody that we can rely on. Quentin Johnston has to be involved. I don't know how much you put on Justin Herbert and Kellen Moore, but I don't care either. It's on both of them. Let's get this guy the ball and let's get him involved. If we're not going to compete for a Super Bowl, which right now does not look like that, we have to get this guy involved. I said it last show. If you're not going to compete, rely on the guys that are your future. And Quentin Johnston is the future.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be a lot more plays set up this weekend for QJ. And here's the thing, too. What QJ? Is that? Can we not say that? Is that against?
No,
the rules,
I'm just
Dave?
saying it like you guys are hanging out with each other.
I know. I was.
Hold
That
on
was
a
in the
second.
spot thing.
Hey, I said QJ to one of my buddies, and he says he has PTSD from Quentin Jammer, and I didn't even put 2 and 2 together.
That's a fair point. But anyways, no, I agree with you. I think it's on Herbert. I think it's more. I would say it's more on Kellen just because it's like, dude, you guys make these plays easy for him. Like, yeah, make these plays setups that are just easy routes, easy, just simple hitch routes, simple slant routes. Like, not everything has to be a one-on-one deep ball. Not everything has to be that, especially for rookie. It doesn't have to be that. And I think there's no better team to try that on. Stop me if you ever heard this before. No better team to try that out on than the Chicago Bears, who are 29th against the pass in the league. Kyler Gordon's not that good of a corner. If you go up against Jalen Johnson, that's a little bit of a different story. He's probably going to rough you off a little bit and a little bit harder to match up. But if you're going against Kyler Gordon, who was one of the worst graded cornerbacks in 2022, and then you face Tyreek Stevenson on the other side, that is another rookie out of Miami that I believe was a 3rd-round pick for the Bears. That's an even matchup, right? It's rookie on rookie. See if someone's on. Devontae Adams last week and did like a pretty good job. Also, QB wasn't the most accurate with the throws. So I think it's a moment where you can easily scheme around the Bears and go, okay, this is how we can get you open. This is how you get started, and just get confidence up. Because he needs his confidence up, because next week after this, we play the Jets. And that Jets defense is no slouch, and that's going to be no easy matchup for Johnston after that. So I think Bears here, Dave, is the best way for him to kind of get started and get his confidence up. Not get yelled at by you.
Okay. It's my fault the guy can't sit there and catch a ball. I don't know what to tell you. Look, you would know this Bears team better than any of us. You live in Chicago. You follow, this team. When you live in a city where the team's playing, obviously there's a ton of media coverage. You know this Bears team. So I will sit there and defer to you all week long on this, on what we're going to see. I hope, man, he's part of the offense. It was one of those where they drafted him. I was upset. I wasn't rooting against him so I could be right. That's the last thing I wanted. So for me to be able to say, I told you so. But right now, here we are. I'm in the I told you so seat that this guy is not the guy. The other day, he caught a pass for 20 yards. It was a big damn deal. It was a career high, right? And you're going, what do you mean? We're this far into the season and that's a career high? It's disappointing. So there are a lot of people that want to see him do well. And I'm sure, look, Justin Herbert wants to win games. He knows that he's the face of the franchise. Tom Telesco wants to look smart to the owner to say, I drafted this guy number one for a reason because I saw something in him. There are a lot of people who have a lot to prove by him having success. The deal is he's not having success. And it's been disappointing. It's hurt the team. And now that Mike Williams is gone, we thought he was going to be a bigger part of the offense. We've used this line, guys, almost every single week. This is his week. Now, Mario, you made a great point, man. The Bears' pass defense stinks. If it doesn't happen this week, it's not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the week. If it doesn't happen this week, we just don't expect it to happen in 2023.
Yep, and I expect it to happen in 2023. You don't draft somebody in the first round and then have no expectations for him to do anything. I would really.
Hold on,
I'll be honest.
Josh, I got a message here on YouTube. It says,
Oh,
Dave, Josh, Mario, just want to let you know the NFL is much tougher than college football, signed Buster Davis. Okay, thank you, Buster. Taken the first round, by the way.
Yeah.
Never draft a guy whose name is Buster. It's in his title.
Good old Craig Davis. Isn't his first name Craig?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyways, the joke is good.
I would change my name from Craig too.
I'm still laughing from 5 weeks ago. Not 5 weeks ago, from a couple weeks ago when Dave said, I expect him to have 5 catches. And people crucified Dave and said, you are out of your mind for expecting a rookie first-round pick to get 5 catches in a game. Really?
They did.
Really?
Yeah.
Jordan Addison? Lamar Jackson?
Nakua?
Not Lamar. Lamar Jackson throwing the ball to Zay Flowers. I'd rather have Justin Herbert throw me the ball. I'd rather have Justin Herbert throw me the ball over Kirk Cousins with Jordan Addison. You know what I mean? Like these aren't crazy expectations.
Stafford's throwing Nakua.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Herbert than all these guys. And then you hear Fernando say that he's working with the 2s and 3s during training camp. What? What are you talking about? He's working with the 2s and 3s. We need him now because players like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen do get hurt. And I'm sorry, they're both injury prone. I got yelled at that in the comments too. Keenan Allen isn't injury prone. The hell he isn't. He's missed 2 full seasons. What do you mean Keenan Allen's not injury prone? I understand that he's played most of the last 5 years, except for one, but he still has missed 1 at the beginning of his career and 1 recently. That's 2 years, man. That's injury prone. Paul George thinks that's injury prone. I have a question for you, and I'm not a doctor. Okay. So this might come across dumb. And if you listen to the show, you're like surprised. Mike Williams had his ACL surgery yesterday. Hold on. He tore his ACL on September 24th. Yesterday was October 25th. Why does it take 1 month to have an ACL surgery? And I'm not a doctor, obviously. I don't know how this works, but I was under the impression if you get hurt, you have your surgery almost immediately so you can recover for the next season. Why did it take 1 month? Does anybody have an answer?
My sister tore her ACL and she waited a month.
Okay, wait a minute. So that's common. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
it's common.
No, it might be common in Indiana because your sister's not a pro athlete. You know,
She's a
no
3-time varsity, a 3-sport varsity athlete. Thank you very much.
Okay, fantastic. Her and Larry Bird, greatest athletes to come out of Indiana. I got it.
Robinson.
I don't want to take shots at your sister.
Sean Kemp.
All right.
Want me to keep going?
No, I want to stop with Sean Kemp.
Rick Fox.
Yeah. Look, Rick Fox is from Canada. Don't start that crap. Look.
Oh, it's from Bahamas, actually.
All right, look. They wait for the swelling to go down, and then you have the surgery. As soon as you have an injury, you want to, as Josh said, you just set back his progress a month. I don't understand. The swelling's been that bad for 33 days. What are we doing here?
I must. I don't have an answer. I don't know how that. I mean, maybe you're right. The swelling was that bad, but like a month. It's unusual. You don't see that very often. I don't think.
You don't see it in any sport that often. Someone's going to write
Yeah.
and tell us we're wrong, but I'm telling me I'm
I
wrong.
know.
Here, look, that is frustrating because Adrian Peterson, when he was out and he came back like right away, was nuts. Jerry Rice had the same injury, right? Comes back right away, and it happens. I thought you were about to give me really good news, Josh, right there. You're about to tell me he's going to be back by December. Like I thought you were pulling one of those Adrian Peterson stories. I had no idea you're about to say that he hasn't had the surgery yet.
Yeah, I just found that out on Twitter right now. Yeah. So Mario, let me ask you a question about the offense. What do you think is a bigger concern? And people don't watch football away from the ball. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. A lot of times I just follow the ball. Most fans do.
It's more fun.
It's more fun. What do you think is a bigger issue? Mike Williams not being there or Corey Linsley not manning the offensive line?
Corey Linsley, 110%.
It is.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it last year. Last year was a huge issue. You're like, how did this all fall apart without Corey? And, obviously you lose your receivers, but our receiver room's like, I know we just talked about Johnson and everything, but like it's a pretty deep room. Like we have talent there. I just think Lindsey goes out and this offensive line just really, really falls apart. And it's like they lose a leader and it's like they're lost, man. So I think it's Lindsey. What do you think, Dave? Is it Lindsey or Mike?
It's Lindsey, but my biggest concern on this offense, which was, I thought, the direction you're going in the question, my biggest concern on the offense is that with the minute 30 remaining in the game and the Chargers down by 3, they can't even get 3. Forget about the game-winning touchdown. They can't.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of talent to actually do that. I mean, there are a lot of NFL teams that go, it's automatic. They're going to play the bend but don't break defense, as Josh says. The Chargers play the bend and break defense. That's what this team does on defense. And then on offense, we can't sit there and run a 2-minute drill. And someone S's the bed every single time. They fall up short. If it's the Chiefs and you give Patrick Mahomes 40 seconds and they're down by 3, I 100% believe the Chiefs are going to tie this or take the lead every single time. And I understand might be at a different level, but I thought this was the year Justin Herbert jumps up where he's easily in the conversation of top 3 quarterbacks in the league. And the fact that he bombed against Miami and he bombs all the time at the end is very frustrating. For me, that's the most frustrating thing in this offense, when it seems like every NFL team can get in field goal range with a minute 30 remaining in the game, except this team.
If Cameron Dicker was an item, he would be gently used because he never gets on the field. He was on my fantasy team, and I had to cut his ass because he never gets to kick the ball. It was insane that we have a good kicker that never gets out there. All right, Justin Herbert, there's a whole argument also. Is he regressing? Is he not regressing? How much do you think his broken left finger has to do with his play, Mario?
Like, at first I would have said it's not that big of a deal. Just because in today's day and age, we've heard it where you can take a little something, you don't really feel anything during the game. But when you see him get tackled, when you see him fall to the ground, it's, his palms up, right? Like it's palms up and it's not, his hand's not hitting the ground. And you see how cautious he is with his hand during the game. You're like, wow, so this has really affected him, right? And yeah, it's not on his throwing hand, and maybe it's a different, handed it off, and he said he doesn't really have any pain when he does that. It's definitely had a factor because it's Raiders. He had his lowest in his career in completions. Chiefs, he had his second lowest, and Cowboys was not better. So it's definitely something. But I kind of want to throw it back to you, Josh. Like, as a quarterback, did it bother you? Like, if your finger jammed, broken, or whatever, how much would that bother you and maybe second guess yourself every time you took the snap, every time you dropped back to pass?
It would bother me. Back in my head, I'm thinking I'm about to take a hit, especially without Corey Linsley out there. You're going to take a lot of hits because the offensive line has been awful outside of Rashawn Slater. So it would be in the back of my head, Mario. Every time I drop back, I'm like, I have a broken left finger. Hopefully nobody hits it. And like you said, when he lands, he has his palm up, so he's not hitting his finger. It's obviously bothering him a lot, bothering him more than I would have expected. But I'm not surprised either because it is a broken finger. I mean, it hurts really bad. Dave, are you surprised? Do you think it's bothering him as much as we do? I know you're upset because it's his left hand, but dude, it is a broken
stop
finger.
it. Just stop it. Knock it off. What are you guys doing? Here, this is embarrassing. Why are we making excuses for the guy because he wears the uniform?
Dude, you're the guy that had a bad back and couldn't sit at your desk a couple of days ago.
Yeah, but I did. I wasn't in a wheelchair.
Yeah, nobody's coming to hit you.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me explain a couple things here. Okay. I'm going to make my point 2 different ways and tell you why Josh is a freaking hypocrite. Okay. I've seen Josh with a dislocated shoulder, Mario, where the shoulder's like in his ear and still played. I saw Josh with a cast on his hand, literally on the sideline, cut his own cast off so he could go in and play. I've seen it. This is the kid you're looking at right there in this square. Okay. I saw Josh play. I made Josh, when he was 8 years old, play shortstop with a cast on his left arm. Am I right?
And a black guy. Hey, good stuff.
That's called abuse. Yeah.
I'm also not getting hit by Chris Jones. I'm also not getting hit by Chris Jones.
As I say to the kids all the time, Mario, bruises go away. Scoreboard doesn't. Okay. Let's focus on the scoreboard. So for you guys to make excuse, I have no time for this BS excuse on his broken finger on his left hand. He's not taking snaps under center. He's taking snaps in a shotgun. Boom, catch the goddamn ball. What are we talking about the way he falls? Are you guys insane? Look, I'm trying not to use the P word. But look, dude, you guys are.
Oh, I think you're using the B word. You've been using it a lot the last few weeks with the couple guys.
P word. P word.
You're right. Okay? It was the P word.
That's where I'm at.
And Eckler. Look.
Yes.
I'm not making an excuse for Justin Herbert. I am the one that says he should shoulder more of the blame than fans are giving him. But I will say it's going to affect his game. How are you going to say a broken finger is not going to affect you? It doesn't matter what hand
it's on. His left hand. I'd be more concerned with the broken toe. I'd be more concerned with the broken toe than a broken finger on his left hand. I can't hear you. You muted yourself. God dang it.
A broken toe sucks. All right. It does suck.
It does. And that makes a difference. That would make a difference to me. The finger, please. I'd be more concerned about an earache and being off balance and dizzy. It's a goddamn broken finger. It's the NFL. Go watch a hockey game tonight. Watch guys get their teeth knocked out and show up 2 minutes later and keep playing. What are we doing?
I got one more thing. So on the comments, people got mad at Fernando for saying that J.C. Jackson is playing better elsewhere. All right, listen up. If you don't like a guy, that's fine. I'm not a fan of J.C. Jackson either. But if he plays well elsewhere, I'll admit it. If he's doing what he's supposed to do somewhere else, I'll say, hey, good for you. I hope you suck because you're not on my team, but you're doing your job. He's allowed 6 catches and 18 targets. That's pretty good, especially by his standards where he allowed 18 catches and 18 targets with the Chargers. Are you surprised, Mario, that J.C. Jackson has played better with the Patriots? And we had a whole discussion last show about system. Do you think it has more to do with the system or more to do with J.C. Jackson?
I'll do you one further. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Opponent. Buffalo Bills. No one knows the Buffalo Bills better than Bill Belichick because he faces them 2 times for the past decade. Knows them very well. They get a lot of film on Allen, a lot of film on Diggs. They are ultimately the most prepared they'll ever be for an opponent is a divisional opponent. And I think that played a little bit of a factor in how well he's been playing, right? Well, it's obviously preparations there. Bill's a great schemer, but it's just they know these teams know each other. It's like playing against your cousin or like your brother or your sibling. Like, you know these people. You know them really, really well. I think that goes into it is they know them really well. The system obviously works. And it's like, okay, it's just refresh. It's just a refresh. It's not like, okay, what do they do well? No, it's just refresh your memory of what they do well. So I think that played a factor in how well he's been playing. But ultimately, I think it does come down to the system. Bill Belichick's defensive strategies will always be impressive. Now, what he does and hiring an offensive coordinator is piss poor, besides Josh McDaniels. But I ultimately do think it just comes against divisional opponent. That really helps a lot. Just recently, where they stepped up and played pretty well and were able to get the W. And that scheme of, plug and play anywhere on that defensive side of the ball. And as long as you follow the Patriot way, you're going to be pretty damn successful. And if you have a broken finger, Dave Palais will curse you out, and then you go out there and you play.
Look, I think J.C. Jackson is comfortable in that system, right? It's a matter of do your job, right? He doesn't ask a lot from you, is what we always hear about Bill Belichick. Just do the one thing he asks you to do. I don't know what happened in Charger practice with J.C. Jackson. Maybe they thought they were getting, a Darrelle Revis type guy, and he wasn't. A shutdown corner, and it was never J.C. Jackson Island. If it was, everybody wanted to visit because it was embarrassing as far as what was happening. But maybe it is. Maybe Bill Belichick knows what he's capable of doing more than what the Chargers did. Maybe the Chargers just expected too much from him, and it just didn't work out well. Right? Look, I'm not going to say I wish the guy the best of luck because I don't. I straight out hope he bombs in New England because I feel like he stole money here in Los Angeles the entire time. So, yeah, I'm disappointed to see that he's playing well right now.
Here's J.C. Jackson's 3-game stats with the Patriots. Against Devontae Adams, he allowed 2 catches for 27 yards and he had 4 tackles. Against the Saints, he allowed 1 catch for 13 yards. Against Chris Olave, he had 1 tackle. Against the Bills and Stephon Diggs, he allowed 3 catches for 36 yards and he had 1 pass breakup and 5 tackles. That is so much better than he did with the Chargers. And I think a lot of it has to do with being on the Patriots. The Chris Olave thing, real quick, people want to get mad at him for speeding. He was just trying to get out of town to get away from Derek Carr. Okay.
Yeah.
I know the family. That's what happened. He said, I don't want to be here anymore. Derek Carr can't hit me for anything. I'm just trying to get out of town. And the cop pulled him back into New Orleans. So that's just what happened. Just want to shed some light on that situation.
And good for him.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
for him. He dropped the "Do you know who I am?" and the cop said that he didn't care. So I thought that was kind of funny too. Okay. Are you guys ready to pick some games?
Hold on. Did he drop it? Did you know who I am?
He said I played for the Saints. He said I played for the Saints, and the cop said and
Yeah.
it's kind of embarrassing.
You guys aren't doing too hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not the Dolphins.
Oh boy, that's
right.
wild. I had no idea.
Couple questions I have for you guys about the Bears that I've been spewing up.
Okay.
Like you said, would you rather face Justin Fields in this matchup or Tyson Bagent?
Justin Fields.
Bagent.
Okay, I'm with you, Josh. Let's hear the.
There's a strike twice, dude. There's no way
Yeah.
this kid put together 2 great games or
That's
two
what
really
they
good
said.
games.
That's what they said about Brock Purdy.
Okay, Dave. Okay, Dave. I mean, Christ on the cross. I think Kyle Shanahan and Luke Getsy are completely different play callers, and Brock Purdy has the most weapons of all time. Tyson Bagent's on the third running back last game, and he has DJ Moore to throw to and Darryl Mooney, who's all right. Cole Kmet's the most overrated tight end in all of Chicago Bear history. That guy freaking sucks. Like, you really would want Fields over Bagent?
No,
Why do you want?
No, I don't want Fields. I don't want. Yeah, I'd want Fields to play this week. Yeah, I do.
Why?
Because I think the Chargers have a better chance. If that kid's accurate against the Chargers the way he was against the Raiders, I think it could be a long day. Have you seen this team?
But
bad day for Davis. Bad day.
I mean, but they never against the Raiders. They weren't asking him to do a lot. Like, the passes were short.
Sound
passes,
like the Bears were this juggernaut with Fields. They weren't
juggernaut.
I mean, yeah. Come on, English is hard. I'm not saying they were this juggernaut, but I'm saying the offense was definitely getting better. Like, there's a massive improvement that they were showing in the last couple of matchups. And then if you watch Bagent in the second half when he goes in against the Vikings, I mean, it's really, really bad. I just think the Raiders just weren't prepared. And then he made simple, easy throws. The game plan was pretty successful, and the run game actually came through for the first time since Jordan Howard. I think all that came together, and that's what helped him have a good game. I still think that you can make this guy sit in the pocket and piss himself. Absolutely piss himself if Thule and Mack and Bosa are firing at all cylinders against an O-line that's pretty banged up and not very strong, and Mack's going to get a revenge game and literally make sure everyone in Chicago remembers how good he was for the Bears. I don't know, man. Like, I think there's just I would want Bagent any day of the week. This guy played Sisters Mary of the Poor that was blind this time last year, and now he's facing Thule, Bosa, Mack, and Dorian James. Like, that is a Madden would even let you sim to go that.
I hope you're 100% right. I hope you're 100% right. So I'm gonna say
I'm looking for 4+ sacks. Last time Khalil Mack played against his former team, he had 6 sacks against the Raiders. I'm looking for him to have a big game against the Bears. Mario, please don't bring up Joey Bosa's name again when you're talking about players to be scared of for going forward. Can you bring up Thule and Mack? Okay. And then Bosa will worry about that later when he can get more than 1 tackle. But Thule and Mack, I expect Mario to have big games. 2 sacks apiece is what I'm expecting. And Bagent is interesting. His dad is an arm wrestling champion, 28-time world champion, arm wrestles with both arms, has his own arm wrestling gym. Mm-hmm. His grandfather, world champion arm wrestler, runs in the family. Now he plays quarterback for the Bears. Interesting cat. I expect the Chargers to beat the crap out of him, though.
Yeah, can you imagine him being your dad and saying, I don't know if I can play because I got a broken finger on my left hand? Okay.
All right. If in case you guys are wondering, and if you want to know really weird stuff about Chicago sports, there is a guy on Twitter that just tweets very random things about Chicago, and he had a great tweet that was again a killer tweet. Bears tight end Cole Kmet said that he met Tyson Bagent's dad after the Raiders game at Chicago Yacht Club. So very relatable. And there was an arm wrestling table there. Again, why is there an arm wrestling table at a yacht club? And story gets better. Cole said he took a picture with Tyson's dad. Unreal. Can't believe that happened. And then he said when he grabs your arm, you're like, holy blank, this dude is strong. So again, excellent reporting right there by this guy. I mean, he has a killer just breaking news on information that you just don't really care about in Chicago, but it's pretty funny. he had one. I wish I could find another one. Oh, there's a great one. Chicago Bears lineman Lucas Patrick to Tyson Bagent before the Raiders game. You're here for a blanking reason. That's actually, I guess, motivational. You're here for a blanking reason. Show the blanking world. He had one time that was like Lonzo Ball went to like a Chicago restaurant. Took a picture at dinner. Like it was something like that. I was like, God, you must have went to Syracuse, man. You're an A+ journalist.
All right. So matchup again Sunday night, Chargers Bears. I will say this, Mario, and then I started thinking about it. Josh is probably going to strangle me when I say this. I'm a uniform guy. Like as far as I always like to see how it looks on TV. I say it all the time. I always think it looks cool when like you have the Cowboys against the Rams this week will look pretty cool. For me, I was always like playoff football. You know, I like things that look like playoff football. One thing they never say on TV is when there are matchups of previous Super Bowls, they just they let it go. And I'm going, dude, this was a matchup of a Super Bowl of these teams where they're, here or there, and they never bring that up. But I like the Bears uniforms. And then I was thinking, man, I like the Bears uniforms. I love the Charger uniforms. I don't like the yellow pants. But, man, I hope on Sunday, man, I think the Bears look good. And then I started thinking, Josh, holy cow, the Bears kind of look like Auburn. I hate Auburn. I can't like the Bears uniforms, right? This is one of those, Josh, it's out of our blood. We can't sit there and say we like the Chicago's uniforms. But Chicago's old school, traditional NFL football, and I like that.
Oh, yeah.
I like the way it's going to look.
I like the old school uniforms. I hate when the Chargers wear the yellow pants. It bugs me so much. I'm watching it and my girlfriend go, what do you think of these pants? She goes, ugly. I go, I agree. I love when the Chargers go all white on the road. They bug the hell out of me.
I hate when the coach on the other team says, well, that one's coming up. I wonder if that's this Sunday. I haven't looked at the uniform scheme. They always show the weeks ahead or the year ahead of what they're going to wear every single week. And don't be shocked they wear something crazy. But when teams and the other coaches and they all put their hands in before they take the field, the quarterback's on the sideline trying to get everybody fired up, and then they always drop, we are not going to lose to a team that wears yellow pants. And I'm like, God dang it, why are we wearing yellow pants? They're using it as motivation. Comes off as soft. I don't like it.
It does.
Yeah.
Chargers are wearing powder blues against the Bears.
Are they?
Okay.
Good deal.
That's going to be a good matchup game. That's going to be a good, good uniform game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you guys don't have to come to Soldier, the West Coast softies don't have to come to Soldier Field,
Dude, if he uses the excuse of a broken finger on his left hand, we are West Coast softies. 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
The last time Chicago Bears were in this stadium, guess who was the starting quarterback?
Nick Foles?
Close.
I don't know.
Mike Lennon? I don't know.
No, but God, that was the worst. That was sad. That boy was that a bad year. No, Andy Dalton was Fields' rookie year. Yeah, he got the first start because I think first or second drive, they put Fields in for a play and he scored a touchdown. And then the Red Rocket came back in.
Yeah, your Bears organization in Chicago is a very bizarre, man. Like they've never had a great quarterback and never had a great wide receiver.
Oh, you're talking about the complete disaster that starts with a complete clueless, brainless, I almost said something even worse, idiot at the top that says, I don't know anything about football. I'm going to leave the hiring to someone else. And then he controls the hiring for the GM. And they're like, why is this not working? That numbnuts.
Yeah.
Freaking idiot.
It's just strange as hell. Hey, you guys will talk about Jim McMahon and Willie Gault, and Dennis McKinnon, and Alshon Jeffrey is probably the best one he ever had. But it's really weird that a franchise is that storied is great with the running backs and linebackers and almost garbage everywhere else.
Or when Jay Cutler's backdrop is when he just backpedaled. And you're like, what the hell are we doing? I will
Is it-
never
hey,
forget that.
Hey, Mario, is it the greatest Bears receiver of all time, Brandon Marshall, like stats wise? Or am I
It
wrong?
could be Brandon Marshall. That's a good one.
No, it might be Galt, actually. No, it might be Marshall. It might be Marshall. Because there was one
I
year
don't
they
remember.
just aired it out.
Yeah, I remember that. And he went off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad,
Most
though.
underrated
It is
receiver of
sad.
all time, by the way, is Brandon Marshall. If you look up his numbers,
Yeah.
he is.
Oh, dude, that when they had it was Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, and Greg Olsen. And I was like, dude, this is like kind of a dynasty. And then they traded away Greg Olsen for no reason.
To the Panthers.
Yeah, to the Panthers. Alshon Jeffrey gets like hurt 1,000 times. Brandon Marshall like hates everyone. So that was fun. And then shout out to not a lot of people know about this. This is a Hall of Fame tweet. Alshon Jeffrey, his last year at the Bears, the season ended. He wanted to be back in Chicago, and he tweets, "We'll be back next year, like Super Bowl bound, like something like that. Like, we'll be back for the Super Bowl." Next year, he goes to the Eagles and wins the Super Bowl. So he kind of called a shot.
They
Just
did.
different, yeah. Just different team.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Yeah.
That
funny.
hurt. Yeah.
That's funny. All right, let's pick these games.
Yeah. Enough about pain. All right. Our records, by the way, gentlemen, put them together. Now, if any very loyal Bolt City fan wants to double check my record counting, please go ahead and do it. You probably would end up more accurate than me. But that being said, Josh currently All right, actually, we'll stop bottom to the top. Sadly, I'm at the bottom, 45 and 52. It's been tough. It's been tough road. Tough road. We'll get back up there. Josh, 48 and 50 at number 2. Dave, 51 and 47 on the leader.
Look at that.
Yeah, don't
Nice,
get cocky.
And I've been terrible the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was about to say 3 and 10 last week. I went 3 and 10. Josh, you went 5 and 8 last week. The week before that, one more page.
That's horrible. That's ridiculous.
Well, and then the week before that, Josh, you had a great comeback. So you went 2 and 12 that week. I went 6 and 8, and Dave went 7 and 7. I don't know how you survived that week, Dave.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Week. Yeah,
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, the thing is, like, this is all we do. We watch every game.
yeah.
Like, how in the hell are we? How are you two guys less than 500? And I'm almost at 500. It's embarrassing.
I'm never going to pick the Chargers cover again. It's killed me the whole
Dude,
season.
honestly, God, if you went under in the NFL, man, you'd be
Oh,
winning
it's
some money.
killer.
Yep.
And then like Vegas, I mean, Vegas is going to react harsh, and then next thing you know, we're all screwed. But starting with the first one, Thursday Night Football, Buccaneers against the Bills. It's in Buffalo. Baker Mayfield and the boys. Bills are 9.5-point favorites. What do you guys have here?
It's too big of a
9.5?
spread. Yeah, too big.
Yeah.
Bills aren't as good as people think they are, and I've been saying that for the last 3 seasons. And Bucks are better than people give them credit for. I think the Bucks cover in this game.
I'm going to Josh. I'm going Bucks cover.
3 in a row. I like the Bucks to cover too. That defense is just a little bit too strong. And that just Buffalo's defense is a little too weak. I'll take the 9.5 points. Another big spread we got coming up: Rams versus Cowboys. Cowboys 6.5-point favorite.
You go, Dave.
I'm gonna take the Rams. I'm going Rams in this one. Looking forward to watching this game. Actually, I'm going Rams.
I'm going Rams as well. I don't think the Cowboys are very good. I mean, we watched the Cowboys a couple weeks ago. I wasn't impressed at all. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp is the best wide receiver duo in the NFL right now, better than Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I don't think anybody wants to go against that. The issue, though, right now with the Rams is that Kyron Williams is on the IR, and he was playing really well. With that being said, I still think the Rams cover.
I agree. I think Rams cover. Too smart of a play caller and too many weapons to not expose that secondary of the Dallas Cowboys. 6.5 points too, Jet. That seems like a trap game. It seems like that line where like, dude, I want to make out with it, and then you make out with it and you realize that line has like herpes or something. You're like, all right, I'm in trouble. So that's just something to keep in mind with that game. All right. Vikings, Packers. Packers are a 1-point favorite, pretty much a pick 'em line. In Green Bay. What do you guys have here?
You go, Mario. You go pick your Packers.
I hate you because I do want to pick the Packers.
You always do.
I do. Well, it's like in this one, I actually like them in this spot. Like no Justin Jefferson at home in Lambeau, Kirk Cousins in Lambeau.
Do it.
All right, fine. Packers.
I'm going Vikings.
I'm going Vikings. I think the Vikings are on the way back up. I like the Vikings a lot, and I think Jordan Love is a bottom 5 quarterback in the NFL.
All right. I hate that you guys made me freaking do that, dude.
You do it
Thanks.
every week. You
You do
trash
it every
a guy
single
that
week.
came 365 days out of the year, and then you pick him every time.
All right. Well, one more word. I'm deleting the recording.
Okay. Wasn't our best effort.
Vikings, Titans. Titans are at home, 3-point favorite against Atlanta Falcons.
You said Vikings, Titan, or
You
who?
did say Vikings.
Falcons, Titans. I'm sorry.
Falcons, Titans.
Yeah.
You go, Dave.
Will
Okay,
Levis
so-
is starting this
Yes,
game, by the way.
yeah, and I'm happy about that. I'm really excited that Will Levis is playing. So here you go. You have the Falcons head coach going back to Nashville, where he was the offensive coordinator. And I tell you, as dumb as it sounds, I told you I'm a uniform guy. I like the Titans because they're wearing the oiled Oiler uniforms. Their players are super excited about it. But also, this is probably Derrick Henry's last game in a Titans uniform. He's expected to be traded, and I think Derrick Henry is going to put on a show. Hopkins, they say he's probably going to be traded as well. It's weird to go with a rookie, unproven quarterback, but I'm going to go Titans in this game. I think there's a lot of motivation in this game for Tennessee.
So this, I'm split here. I was really happy for Will Levis for getting the quarterback job. Really happy, and then I immediately picked up the Atlanta defense in my fantasy league because I think it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts is going to be going against the Titans team without Kevin Byard. Kevin Byard is one of the more underrated players in the league. He's like Drew Holiday of the NFL. Like every year, you just say he's underrated. Why don't we just say he's a good player? He's a really good player. Derrick Henry's last game before he becomes a Baltimore Raven. I like the Falcons to win. Titans are quitting.
Ooh.
Do you think Henry ends up with the Ravens? Is that what you're hearing?
I don't know. That's the only thing I saw on Twitter so far that the Ravens have serious interest.
I heard the Cowboys have interest in both Henry and Devontae Adams too.
Yeah, Cowboys have interest in my mother too. Like I hate that
What?
every time. Like no, like they have interest in everyone.
I'll meet
Like,
you in
they-
Dallas. I'll defend your mom. That's ridiculous.
No, I meant like, dude, like they have an interest in every like. I don't know. I have a big. It's like the Lakers do that too. Oh, as a free agent, like
We do.
Dame,
And I say we because I'm all in on the Lakers. I love it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's my biggest pet peeve. Like they're interested. Really, a 2029 first round draft pick's gonna get you Dame? Really? Okay. Really? All
saying.
right.
Hey, they got Kareem. Nobody thought they'd get Kareem. They got Shaq. Nobody thought they'd get Shaq. The Lakers do pull this off a lot. They got Chris Paul and David Stern blew it for us.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, we do.
no,
The
you
Lakers
didn't
do follow through.
You didn't
with
get
this.
Chris Paul. No, you didn't get Chris Paul.
100%. I was asked
Was he in a
Josh. We were in
uniform?
the car high-fiving each other about 12 years ago when Chris Paul was a Laker and David
Okay.
Stern jumped in and canceled the trade. We had a deal done.
Let me
I'm
rebuttal.
still pissed. I am still
rebuttal.
angry about this.
Good. You should
No.
be because you had Steve Nash and Dwight Howard after that, and that went nowhere.
That never works when we do that. Karl Malone, Gary Payton,
Horrible.
it didn't work.
Also, Kareem, congrats. That was like during the Cold War, so I'm happy that went and worked for
Most
you.
underrated player in the history of sports. Him and Hank Aaron. I'll say it forever. Look at
Okay.
Kareem owns all these records.
And then Shaq, you're dealing with this stupid organization in the Orlando Magic. And then Chris Paul, he was never in uniform. So
I would like to say
Yeah.
for the crowd out there that the Kareem trade did happen during the Cold War. That's actually a fact.
yeah, that is an actual fact. I would argue it maybe happened during Vietnam.
Oh my God.
Like,
It did not.
Did it
Did
not?
not. Did
Are
not.
you sure?
100% sure. Yes.
All right. Well, moving on. All right. That's your history lesson for the day. Saints.
A lot of Laker fans.
Wait, did
who
you pick the
listen to
Vikings?
this.
Hold on. Did you pick the Falcons or the Titans, Mario?
Oh, I'm sorry. Titans. Titans a cover.
Okay, you got Titans. All right.
Saints, Colts. It's a pick 'em pretty much. Leans to the Saints -1. What are you guys kind of doing here? This is in Indianapolis.
All right, look, I'm gonna say this. I am so disappointed in the Saints. I'm not a Saints fan at all. I mean, as Josh says, we know the Olave family, but I am so disappointed in the Saints. I thought they had an easy schedule. I talked about it during the summer, saying don't be shocked if the Saints run the table. Derek Carr stinks. He seems like he's worse now than he ever was with the Raiders. He's such a disappointment. I guarantee people in New Orleans think the same thing. His teammates have to think the same thing. The Saints are an embarrassment to this league, and I'm going Colts.
It's hard to bring a fake Southern accent to the South if you're Derek Carr. He already started off in a bad
He
spot.
watched the dude from LSU pull that crap. He watched Kelly do it.
The fact that Derek Carr has a Southern accent and he's from NorCal makes no sense at all. But I like the Colts. It makes no sense. I like the Colts. I think they win this game. Gardner Minshew has been playing really good. The opposite of Derek Carr. He brings everything to the table. Derek Carr brings nothing to the table. I like the Colts to cover.
First off, Shane Steichen, hell of a coach.
Great coach.
Yeah. I mean, he's like just working with nothing and he's making something happen out of it.
They got cheated out of a win last week. Worst
They did
all season.
I'm going to take Saints in this one, though.
Wow.
Gardner Minshew's why. At defense versus Minshew, I'll stay out.
Okay.
That beat what?
I said okay.
Yeah. All right, next one. Patriots. Travel to Miami. Dolphins, 9.5-point favorites, and we'll go with the smart ass. What do you think is going to happen in Miami, Dave?
Miami is going to roll. Going Miami big time. It's in Miami. Miami, man, puts on a show when they're at home. And I'm telling you, I think this is where Tua is embarrassed for what happened last week. I think you're going to see some crazy numbers. I know Tyreek's banged up, but I think you're going to see some crazy numbers.
Yeah, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle are both questionable for this game. I bet both of them play. The funny thing to me is that J.C. Jackson walks away from the Miami Chargers game thinking, hell, thank God I don't have to see those guys again. And then he has to play them again. I like the Dolphins to cover. It's supposed to be thunderstorms. I don't even think it matters, man. I like the Dolphins to steamroll them.
I so hope there's a penalty right before halftime by J.C. Jackson. That's just the dumbest penalty in the world. And if we get that, my heart will be happy. I like Dolphins here as well. Look, first off, even in the Brady days, Dolphins like got their number, like a good amount.
They did.
And like it was like, like especially in Miami, like it was a weird kryptonite for them. Patriots are a disaster. I mean, nothing's improving there. So I'll take the Dolphins in that one.
You know what? You're right, Mark. That's a good call. There's some crazy Dolphin Patriots games. Do you remember when they put Gronk as the deep that guy?
Yeah.
And then the Dolphins win. Yeah, that was nuts. And then even Saban in his last NFL game beat the Patriots. It's kind of crazy. The one thing about Mike McDaniel, that guy doesn't seem like he's intimidated by any coach on the other side. I kind of looking forward to that matchup.
I do. I am too. I'm really hyped about it.
Yeah, Mac Jones good.
2 Alabama quarterbacks going at it again.
Same class.
That's true. I didn't think about that. They're gonna do the pictures with them smoking the cigars.
I hope so.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I hope so. First off, tough pick for Mac in that one too. Very tough. Like if I was that, I was like, do I really wish that photo? If I knew I was gonna photo live back on, I'd put a shirt on maybe. Like, let me do some push-ups and then I'll come back. All right, next one. The Battle of New York, Jets, Giants. Jets are a 3-point favorite. What do you guys kind of have here?
The Giants are surprisingly better with Tyrod Taylor, significantly better. I think that the Jets defense is just too good, man. I think Zach Wilson will do enough to get them the win, and I think the Jets cover the 3-point spread.
I'm with Josh. I'm going Jets as well.
Yep, I'm Jets across the board. Also, the over under is 36.5. I'd still take the under. I think there's gonna be like 0-point score in this game.
Yeah, that comment this week on another national show where Tyrod Taylor, that young kid, is doing pretty well. It's like 34.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. And been like on every team.
Yeah. He's a good immaculate grid guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a great immaculate grid guy. When in doubt. Jags, 3-point favorites against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers surprisingly 4-2 on the year. Shout out Mike Tomlin. What do you guys have?
Steelers are a hard team to pick every single week. I think one of the toughest teams in the NFL. Like they are never impressive. But then when the loss, like the one to Houston, was like, how the hell did that happen? And that wasn't even close. That was a blowout. But then the Steelers find a way to win games. I'm going Steelers in this one.
What's the spread, Mario?
3-point spread favored by the Jags.
I like the Steelers as well. They were impressive last week against the Rams. I think the Steelers cover.
The referees helped them out too.
I like Jags. I think Pickett is going to get overwhelmed by that pass rush. Jags look very, very, very strong right now. I know Tomlin's against the spread record, underdog record. I'll throw all that out the window. And I don't know. Matt Canada too. See ya later. Eagles, Commanders in Washington. Eagles 6.5-point favorites against Washington in this one. This is actually probably my favorite. One of my more favorite plays.
Spread seems like way too low. The Eagles have a devastating pass rush, and the Commanders couldn't block anybody. I mean, I don't even know why it's 6.5 points. I think it should be closer to 10. I like the Eagles to cover. Eagles are looking better each week. I think they kick the crap out of them.
I do too. We always talked about how the Eagles haven't polished their game up. It looked like against Miami, they figured it out. I think the Eagles are ready to go on a big-time roll.
People forget, by the way. Hashtag people forget. Commanders were the ones that ruined the undefeated season last year for the Eagles.
Another reason why I think the Eagles kicked the crap out of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Sam Howell, I hope he doesn't get hurt, but this is a game I legitimately could see him getting hurt because he's going to get hit so much.
Honestly.
I'm going to be like, all right, I'm like getting kind of nervous for him. All right, Texans, 3-point favorites against the Panthers. 1 versus 2. CJ Stroud versus Bryce Young in this matchup. Who you guys have here?
So this is a great game for the people that follow these two kids in Southern California. These guys played against each other in high school, and then one goes to Alabama, one goes to Ohio State. I tell you what, as much as I love Bryce Young, I'm going Texans. The Texans are a much better team than the Panthers.
Yeah, much better team. I believe both teams are coming off a bye week. Texans just have far more talent. I mean, for God's sakes, Bryce Young's relying on Adam Thielen like he's Jerry Rice. It's just the saddest thing ever down there. I like the Texans to cover.
Texans cover as well. D'Amico Ryans, I think, is going to run circles around Frank Wright. That team's playing hard in their physical, and the Panthers are just, well, they're the Panthers, and they just never treat any good player they have well. Browns, Seahawks. Seahawks 3.5-point favorites against Cleveland. They're at home in this matchup.
Who's
Watson.
At home? Who's at home?
Seattle. And I don't think Deshaun Watson's playing in this game.
Doesn't sound like it. I'm really proud of my Ben Simmons opinion last couple weeks about Deshaun Watson being Ben Simmons. This guy does not want to play football. He got his money and he's bailed out. It's sad. I don't feel bad for him. PJ Walker, I believe, is the starter in this game. I like the Browns have been tough, man. I think I like the Browns to cover. They've been playing decent.
I'm going to go Seattle in this one. I'm going to go Seahawks. Long way to travel. I'm going to go Seattle at home.
Browns defense.
You love the Browns. You said it all along. Yeah.
All right. Chiefs, Broncos. Broncos 7-point dogs at home.
This is a rivalry inside the division. Chiefs hate the Broncos, vice versa, the whole deal. I'm going Chiefs in this one.
I'm going Chiefs as well. The second best defensive player on the Chiefs, Bolton, I think fractured his wrist against the Chargers. He's out for a while. Doesn't matter. They got Drew Tranquil.
Really?
I think.
I don't remember that happening. Have you ever seen a bigger baby on a football field than that guy? I mean,
I don't know why
his knee or his neck.
I don't know why he collapsed for a wrist. That was weird. That was a little bit strange. I like the Chiefs to cover. I'm not very confident in this pick, actually. I think the Broncos can make it a closer game.
God, that was ridiculous.
But I'll go Chiefs to cover.
I've seen kids on playgrounds react less than that guy. I mean, hopefully he has a nice summer dress to go with that cast. That's a ridiculous embarrassment, the way he acted.
You'd be great. Dude. You'd be great for the military.
I would not be great for the military at all. I would not. Not because I would talk back. I just, no way.
All right. I like Chiefs in this one. I know 7's a lot of points. I'd probably tease it in a different teaser. Probably add, I don't know who I'd add in that. I'll probably Steelers in the teaser, actually. I'd probably add the Steelers and Chiefs in the teaser for this one. Just, it's divisional games, so you don't really know what's going to happen, but I think Chiefs roll. Broncos just have nothing to fight for. And I think Sean Payne every day goes home, turns all the lights off, turns on Drake May or Caleb Williams and goes, just this time next year, maybe so. On to the next game. We need to talk about Caleb Williams and Drake May. One show, I have a lot of complaints about that too. All right, Ravens 9.5-point favorites against the Cardinals. Cardinals 1-6, not looking strong. Ravens starting to put it together. Big spread though. So what do you guys think here?
I'll go Ravens to cover. Ravens look like the best team in football last week against the Lions. Cardinals are so freaking bad. Kyler Murray might be playing this week too, which gives me another reason to pick the Ravens. I like a blowout.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens as well. We talked about how hard the Cardinals were playing at the beginning of the season, surprising a lot of people. When you just keep losing games, man, it's tough to keep giving that same effort that you gave at the beginning of the year when you want to shock the world. There's no shock in the world. The Cardinals are done, and they know it. I'm going Ravens.
Up yours, Baltimore
I know it.
Cardinals plus 9.5. I will never trust them in my lifetime. I can't. Okay, I won't be able to. It's like
You are the strangest guy, man.
it's like
when it comes to
trusting the
these games.
father that kept leaving the home. It's like you can't do it. You know. That's what. That's what
You
they
go
are.
against the Ravens every week, and you go Packers every week, but you hate
Every
both
week.
teams every week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I never said I was an intelligent kid. Bengals, Niners. Niners 3.5-point favorite at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. And I really want to take the Bengals.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Bengals. Another Super Bowl
I'm
matchup.
sure.
They met up twice in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals. I think it's going to be a Sam Darnold game, right? Isn't Sam Darnold the backup to Brock Purdy? No player has been in
Yeah.
concussion protocol and played in the same week, so I'm just going to go with that. I don't think Brock Purdy is going to play in this game, and if he doesn't, I like the Bengals to actually win this game. I think the Bengals have a great chance.
Yeah, I like Bengals as well. Also, I think this is going to be like that time. I think coming off a bye too, that they're going to start putting together. We're going to see the Joe Burrow that we've seen for the past 2 years that's taken the NFL by storm.
I got a live tweet here, guys, that says that Sam Darnold already has 2 turnovers, 1 interception, 1 fumble. So some things aren't headed in the right direction.
Tough one.
Yeah.
Praise be for the kid. All right. Monday Night Football, Raiders, Lions. Lions 8.5-point favorite. I don't think I'd ever see that line for the Lions, but
Where's the
here we
game at?
are. In Detroit.
That's not a good sign for the Raiders. Go ahead, Josh.
I like the Lions, the bounce back game. Raiders are terrible. What they did against the Bears should be illegal. I like the Lions to have a good bounce back game and beat the crap out of them.
I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go Raiders in this one. For some reason, it's ridiculous to say the Raiders are going to bounce back, but I think the Raiders play better. They're completely embarrassed. I mean, embarrassed as an organization last week.
Embarrassed. I like Lions all over this. Embarrassed. They're sad. I just don't think this team's going to have a lot of fight left. And the Lions just got their butts kicked last week. And you better know that Dan Campbell took a fire to their ass this whole week. Like, he wants them to play a lot better. Sunday Night Football. George Halas's Chicago Bears face the Los Angeles Chargers. Grit versus Hollywood. What do you have here?
You go first in this one. I want to see what kind of man you are. You go first.
All right. This is the type of man I am. All right. Thought a lot about it. Look, the thing that the Bears do well, the Chargers have actually done great at stopping this year, right? Like, the one thing you can say the Chargers did better than they did last year, stopping the run. The Bears really lean on their run game. They lean on against the Raiders. That's how they won that game. Bagent obviously played well, but it was the run game that really was able to let him play really, really well. I think Chargers can take that away. Not to mention the Mac revenge game is a real thing. He does a lot of damage. He will be in Bagent's face, I think, all night long. And if he's not, Morgan Fox will be. Tully will be. I'm sorry, because I know you guys didn't hate me for it. Boza will be. I think if you put pressure on him and you make him remind himself that, yeah, I'm a rookie quarterback facing an NFL team that is pretty damn explosive, I think he'd be in himself in a lot of trouble. Not to mention the weak secondary of the Bears. Joe Johnson's great. I'm fine attacking Gordon. I'm fine with attacking Stevenson. Brisker's questionable for this game, and he's by far the best player on that defensive side. I like Justin Herbert's over 265.5 passing yards a lot. I think this is his bounce back spot for him. Chargers 8.5. I'm comfortable making that bet. I'm going to reverse it. Change it a little bit. Chargers don't kill teams. Bears will hang around enough where Bears will cover plus 8.5. Chargers will win Don't get me wrong. They will win this game. There's no way the Bears will win this game, but the Bears will cover on the simple fact of raise your hand on the last time the Chargers have won a game by double digits and dominate all the way through, because I can't remember it. So if you can remember it, good for you. You're probably in the Matrix, but I can't remember it.
January 1st, Mario, 2023 against the Rams. The Chargers won by 21 points. I just looked it up right now. It doesn't happen very often. I like the Chargers to win the game, but not to cover. I think you nailed everything you just said. There's nothing much more to say other than I just want the Chargers to win. I don't care if it's by 1 point or by 21 points.
I just want to point out there was a major fight on this show about 3 months ago where Mario said the Bears were going to beat the Chargers.
I did say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You also said Herbert was MVP. So
I did.
We wanted to compare takes.
Absolutely did. I did. I think you threatened to get on an airplane and get drunk in front of my face at this game.
I did. I'd say I'd get really drunk in front of your face and be a full nuisance. That was a threat. Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're both on the same page as far as our memories go. All right. So here's the deal. Khalil Mack is the guy to watch in this game. And how often do you say that? I agree with everything Josh said at the beginning. Khalil Mack's going to look like that linebacker in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I think he's going to have a crazy game. He's going to look awesome. He's one of those guys that plays with a chip on his shoulder, which I admire. I lived my whole life that way. So I'm all for it. I think the Chargers go out and surprise people. They put some points up, and they're going to be like the Godfather. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. All these Charger fans are going to be back and saying, look what this team can possibly do. And they're going to try and turn it into another win the following Monday night against the Jets. 2 primetime games in a row, and people are going to start believing in the Chargers. Things will go their way. If things do not go the Chargers' way, I will end up with more splinters in my hand, because it seems like every week I go to Brandon Staley's house and put a for sale sign right in his front yard, and still nobody buys that goddamn house, and he still has a job. But if the Chargers lose to the goddamn Bears on Sunday night, I'm done. Like, I'm speechless. Like, that is a lot to say. I'm speechless. I'll have no words if we're doing a show Sunday night and they lost to the Bears. What the hell are we doing down there? Chargers are going to win. They're going to win big time. Big time.
I mean, yeah, if Bears win, they'd be undefeated again. No, I'm sorry, not undefeated. They'd be 2-1 against AFC West.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. All right. There you go.
Well, also, dumb versus dumber and coaching challenge.
I
I have no idea who's dumber, Eberflus or Staley.
Oh my gosh, I don't know, man. I have no faith in our guy right now. All right, we're going to come back on Sunday right after the game. We're going to talk about the week that was, and at the same time, hopefully a Charger win. We need a Charger win really bad, and we need an impressive win. Doesn't matter. I hope there's some good news, and we're talking about some players on this roster that did things that they've never done before. I'm talking to you, QJ. Okay, talking to you, and not Quentin Jammer. But we want things to go really well for the Chargers this week, but looking forward to this game Sunday night, as we do every single Charger game. But we'll be back on Sunday. Make sure you tune in. Again, you can follow us on YouTube. Appreciate that. Subscribe. Are we to the point? What is the bet? That you have to have 1,000 subscribers by Sunday to
by Monday.
By Monday. I thought Sunday was the shirtless day. No, it's Monday.
Monday. Yeah, so we're at 969 right now. No pun intended. So yeah, we need 30 more. So keep subscribing. Grab your mom's phone, subscribe, create an account for your 6-year-old nephew if you have one, and say, buddy, you're going to subscribe to the Bold City podcast. Get him as a Charger fan young. You know, start the trajectory of the family as a Charger fan, and start that trajectory with us at Bold City.
Yeah, exactly. With Charger season tickets come free therapy sessions too, because you're going to need it. It's a tough life. Also, again, if you listen through the Odyssey app, we appreciate that as well. Bolt City Podcast. But we'll be back on Sunday. So for Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you in a couple days.